Proclamation. Whereas fighting fires is one of the most dangerous professions, requiring physical strength, stamina, excessive training, courage, and selfless concern for the welfare of our citizens. And whereas in addition to their daily duties, firefighters routinely put themselves in harm's way to serve our community. And whereas our community is truly fortunate to be served by these dedicated volunteers, with a capital B, volunteers, and whereas our firefighters serve as community volunteers with no anticipation of pay for their services above the gratitude of our community, and whereas East Brunswick owes a tremendous debt to those who, on a continuing basis, protect the citizens and property of this township, and whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and extraordinary service provided by the members of the East Brunswick Fire Departments, and to honor the dedication of those firefighters who knowingly accept risking their lives to protect the lives of others. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by I, Brad J. Cohen, Mayor of the Township of East Brunswick, along with the Township Council, do hereby express gratitude for their 50 years of dedication and willingness to serve and provide to those in need of our community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So, representing Fire District 1, and these are people who have put in 50 years of service or more.
If you go with the numbers.
Oh, in order. Okay, we're going to go order of the numbers. Ladies Auxiliary of Old Bridge Volunteer Fire Department, number 1 at 55 years of service, Joyce Curley. You can stand. At 54 years of service, Judy Summer. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
You ready for this one? Drum roll. At 60 years of service, Kathy Treat. Again, all of these are over 50 years of service, representing Fire District number 3, Victor Romatowski.
Way to go, Vic.
Representing Fire District 1, Robert Torek. Thank you. Representing Fire District 2, we have Anthony Alexander. Again, Fire District 2, Dennis DeGraw. Also, Fire District 2, William Burns. Rounding out District number 2, we have Howard Levine. Absolutely. And finally, District number 1, Fred Hoover.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You going in? Let's get a professional. Yeah, come on, get a good one, would you please?
Yeah.
They're gonna have to wait, that's all, Larry. Yeah, there we go.
At this time, I'm going to call on Fireman Anthony Alexander to say a few words.
Thank you, President McAvoy. I have to cram 72 years into Greg Gutfeld Cliff Notes with a Sharpie pen and 2 minutes. But on behalf of everyone here tonight, all the members of the Fire Service, Districts 1, 2, and 3, sincere thank you to Mayor Cohen, President McAvoy, and the Township Council for having these proclamations for us this evening. And I got to tell you, 50 years has really flown by, because I remember a lot of the guys to my left, to your right over here, when we had brown hair, blonde hair, black hair, some hair, had hair. It's amazing how time flies. And just to get a little bit of my history out quick, because everybody's got their own little piece of history to offer here tonight. But I go back to the Zelinskys. My mom taught his parents, I believe. Smiths, obviously. There was a farm across the street from my house when I moved into my house on Fern Road some 40-plus years ago. So this used to be called the farms out here, but everybody in this room that served, either in the rescue squad, the fire department, obviously public safety, has had their own little bit of imprint on the town. And let's face it, we're a town of 50,000 people. So it's not a small town anymore the way it was when it was rural. So way back when, our first home, first place I lived was on Smith Lane. My parents brought me home from St. Peter's Hospital back then, and that was what we called home. Quick move to South River, back to East Brunswick to the farms. And we lived in the Fieldcrest development. So back in 1973, I was in Rutgers commuting because they had a restrictive radius on living there. You couldn't live there and be that close to the school, so I commuted. And there was an old barn in the corner of Ryder's and Dunham's, which obviously was torn down, the sign went up. Firemen needed. Do you want to join? I see Howard back there looking. That's how he found out too. And we all wound up joining back at that point in time. Some of us still around here, others have moved away. But everybody here has had some impact on the town, whether it be from an administrative position, a line position, commissioner's position, or a combination of all three, with the public safety in the forefront. And obviously, it worked, because we're still here. Some of us stuck around and made it an avocation as opposed to a vocation, but benefits went to the Township of East Brunswick, the citizens, and everyone here, as I had mentioned earlier, has their own story to tell. Another little tidbit, I see Chief Lasacco back there. The first police chief in town was my grandfather, Frank Warnsdorfer. My mom was a Warnsdorfer. So we go back a few years in town. And other than that, I'd like to thank my wife, Barbara, for putting up with this for 50 years, and my son's taping this. So after 12,000 plus calls and 50 years, got some dinner waiting on the table that I could finish from what we'd left behind. But countless hours of training everybody here puts in, countless hours of maintenance on the vehicles, countless hours of house maintenance. As I said, if they were in positions, they also took up more time. But it's, again, to the benefit for the township, citizens that were sworn to protect, and hopefully this legacy continues. And I thank everybody.
Mayor?
Before we let that one go, I do think that it's worth saying that every year around this time, we get third graders from the elementary schools that come up to the township to learn about government. And they actually sitting right where all of you are sitting right now, and they ask really good questions. And one of the things that I always ask them is to tell me what they believe my number one responsibility is as mayor. And I have to tell you, they all get it right. They know that the safety of the people that live in this township is my number one responsibility. Everything else is a far number two. And we are exceptionally lucky because they'll rattle off right away who are those people that are first responders that are out there when we need them at sometimes the most inopportune times. And I remind them every single time that we are so fortunate as a township to have an all-volunteer fire department. That's not the norm any longer. More and more towns can't find people to volunteer, and so they are going to paid firefighters. I believe Monroe is fairly close to being almost all paid now. That's a $4 million price tag to the township of Monroe. And I know I hear all the time people complaining about taxes. I get it. But I think that we owe a debt of gratitude to the people who are here tonight, who are putting their lives on the line to help us at nothing, and who want nothing more than to know that the people around them have gratitude for the time and effort that they put in. And it's a great example to the young people that are here today, that there are people here who have put in that many years. And while the town may be more diverse, it may look a little different than it did 50, 60 years ago. It's no longer the rural town that it might have been when you first came here. That is normal. Towns go through changes and we adapt. We'll be hearing about how we're looking tonight to continue the role of adapting to the future, which is constantly changing. But what I hope never changes is the active interest in participating in being part of our community and doing the right thing. And so for the kids that are here tonight, I applaud you for being such a tremendous example of the right thing to do.